probably surprised to hear how many people are affected by brain injuries. Nicole Wall knows very well how many people are affected. She is with us from the Saskatchewan Brain Injury Association, but you have kind of a special reason for being part of this group.
Yeah, both of my parents are brain aneurysm survivors. My mom suffered one in 2001 and required emergency surgery to save her life. And then in 2009, my dad was mountain biking outside of Regina, and I got a phone call from his cell phone, but it wasn't him, and a man found him collapsed in the parking lot and picked him up and called me because I was the last person that my dad had talked to. And they brought him to Regina, and the surgeons here weren't able to do anything for him, so he was air ambulanced to Saskatoon, where he spent several weeks there and underwent 2 separate brain surgeries. And he's just got his clean bill of health a few months ago, so
wow,
that's great.
So your family has been hit twice, and that's absolutely astounding, absolutely astounding. But there are a lot of families that are affected by brain injuries.
Yeah, there's about 2,500 brain injuries that occur in Saskatchewan every year, so it works out to about 8 brain injuries per day. 50% of the brain injuries that occur in Saskatchewan are from car accidents, and 30% are from sports-related injuries, and then the rest are from things like strokes and aneurysms and falls and things like that.
Now, some of this is preventable.
Yeah, most of it is preventable through wearing bike helmets and stuff. There's 60 Canadians killed every year by bicycling accidents, and wearing a helmet reduces the risk by 88%. So we really need to remember to be putting our helmets on. And
wow.
Yeah, and in football there's 36,000 per year, and we are really excited to announce that Jim Hopson, the CEO of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, just announced himself as our honorary spokesperson.
Great.
Yeah, and he announced the Save Your Melon campaign as well, which are these really cool watermelon helmets that are available at Western Cycle that people can buy and wear out to the games and stuff like that.
Well, that's really neat, and I know that that sports injuries, there's starting to be more and more research done. A lot of athletes are leaving their brains to research just so that they can see all of the effects, but the effects are very widespread. Yeah, they're very different for every person and stuff, and there is no cure for them. There's only treatments to try to get you a little bit better, but there's no magic cure or pill that you can take to get rid of it. Now, an aneurysm falls into that category, although it's not an injury in the same way as other things are. Yeah, it's not so much preventable as like a car accident or an ATV accident or something like that. But nonetheless, you're going to suffer from some kind of symptoms, and in your parents' case, require surgery, and I'm guessing a lot of long-term care afterwards. Yeah, it puts a lot on your family. It's really, you learn to work together as a family and change things and routines and stuff. So. Yeah. So you would have been very young. Yeah, I was in grade 7 when my mom got sick, and my little brother was in grade 3, so I was pretty quick thrown into the mom role, and it happened right around Christmas time, so I found out who Santa really was that year. And then my dad told too, because he'd never paid any of the bills or done the laundry or grocery shopping or anything, and he's like, I will never ask what your mom does all day ever again. I suppose not. And so it is. It's something that affects the whole family, and in your case, it affected your whole family twice, but in different ways. Yeah, when I went through it the second time, I think it was a lot more scary for me because it was more real, because I knew what was going on, and I was older, and I could comprehend it much better, and when the doctor sat down and talked to us, I knew like what everything really meant. So you got involved in the Saskatchewan Brain Injury Association, and what does that association do for people like yourself? We provide free programs for families and their survivors in Saskatchewan. So we have different things. We have retreats for them. We have a summer camp. We have meetings that are held weekly. The one in Regina is held on Thursdays at Wascana Rehab Center. More information about those is available on our website, which is www.sabia.ca. And there's chapters in Regina, Saskatoon, Yorkton, Moose Jaw, and Prince Albert now. So. Okay. Now, in order to fund all this, obviously, there are funds required in order to pay for all of these programs. You do have an annual fundraiser? Yeah, we have our 9th annual walkathon coming up in Regina, and it's also being held in Prince Albert and Saskatoon on the same day. And it's on September 10th at 10 a.m. And we are really excited to have WestJet donated us 2 tickets that are good to anywhere in Canada for the top fundraiser at the walkathon. So that's great, and that's a real incentive, because a great thing for somebody to have, obviously, is 2 tickets to fly anywhere, but of course, the more incentive they have, the better it is for your
us,
association.
yeah.
It's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
And it'll be fun too. Walkathons are fun.
Yeah.
How far are you taking people?
We walk around Wascana Lake, and then there's a barbecue afterwards that usually starts around noon for everyone.
I know it's a fundraiser, but I'm guessing it's also an awareness thing as well. You
Yeah.
want to make sure that people understand how many people are affected.
Yeah, my mom and I have been doing it for about 5 years now, and every year we go out, there's more and more people out there, and more families and stuff, so it's good to see it growing.
If you had just a few words of wisdom to pass on to people, what would you say?
I would really stress to the youth in this city to please wear your helmets. I always see, my brother's 17, so I always see him and his friends out longboarding and stuff, and they don't have their helmets on, and my brother fell last week and cut his whole side up, and I was like, did you hit your head? And he's like, no, and I was like, you're lucky, because if that was your head, it wouldn't have taken the hit like that. So kids really need to remember that it might not be the coolest thing to wear your helmet, but it is the safest thing to put one on.
Hey, and if everybody does it, maybe
Then it will be
cool.
cool, yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much for sharing all this personal information with us,
Yeah.
Nicole, and such a great cause as well. So if you're interested, check out the website. We'll have it up for you. And it is Brain Awareness Month, so take stock of what's going on in your head.
Yeah.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank
You're
you.
watching Talk of the Town, brought to you by SGU. Please stay tuned. We'll be back.